Hello and welcome back to another SIW Jdramas numeral Trez. Is that three? Trez. So we're gonna do it a little differently this time. This time I'm gonna be recording the parts a day or two after I watch the series, just because since TV shows in general take longer to watch than movies unless you're beast moding it. Um, I tend to forget stuff more. Like last J drama stuff, there was like stuff I wanted to talk about with Beach Boys, but it's been like so long, I could only remember like key points. So I think it'll be a better review slash discussion if I do talk about it after I recently finish it instead of waiting and then recording it all in one day. I guess the problem is that I might change my opinion after watching some of the other ones, but we'll see how it works for this one. So technically I don't know what's gonna be on this list, except for the first one, so enjoy and we'll see how this one goes. So the first series I watched in this discussion video was Black Forceps or Black Pean, which is a medical drama, which was pretty good. This is my third medical drama I've seen. I've seen A Life starring Kimura Takia, naturally, which I thought was also good, and I watched 2.5 seasons of Dr. X, which was good, but each season just kind of felt like the same thing hashed over again, so I kind of dropped it. Not because it was bad, just because it seemed like pretty much the same, just with different characters, and I was getting a little bored with that. But this one was good. I thought it had a pretty shaky start because I watched like 2 episodes in one day, and after watching it, I didn't think I liked it as much. I think it was mainly because the main character was an edgelord. Like, he was the edgiest character I've seen in a while. So I didn't like him too much. He kind of warmed up to me as I went through the series when you explore his backstory a bit more. Though you know he's like kind of a good person, but he's still really edgy. But I guess the good thing is, because he's kind of unlikable for me when his arc finished or whenever he has some sort of development, which is really only when his arc finished at the end, I did feel like it felt good seeing him be a little less edgy by the end of it. So for some reason character development feels a lot better for a character that you don't really like. So, but I didn't hate him. He wasn't the worst. I think at least he was better than being a boring main character. So yeah. But it also starred I forgot his name. I'm not gonna try to say all the names again because it's shaky. But he was in our last video for Rico. His name was Modi in Rico. I just called him Modi the whole time through this drama because I didn't bother knowing his name. But he is Ryoma Takuchi. Oh yeah, Sarah. He's alright. I mean, I've seen him twice now, and I still don't love him, so maybe he's not my favorite actor. But his character kind of felt exactly the same as the running one, like a very nice guy who's hardworking and determined to get better. So I kind of want to see him in a different role to see how he does, or if that's just his favorite type of role. Because I guess it's not my favorite type of character. And the other characters were fine. Nobody I loved except for the boss of this hospital, because I guess we'll talk about the story a bit more after, but the boss, I thought he was really cool. He definitely was my favorite. It's kind of weird because it's like 2 hospitals fighting. The bosses are both kind of corrupt, bad guys, antagonistic figures. I guess not bad because they're not like doing evil stuff technically, but it's kind of weird. He's like the underdog of the corrupt rich people, even though he's clearly not, because he's still rich and he was actually in the lead for a while in the race for the chairman seat. but it just felt like every single political person was supporting the other party. So it kind of made me want to cheer for him. And he did some really cool stuff, like at the end of episode 8, without telling you what it was, I thought that was like one of the coolest moments in the show, because I saw it coming, and that was just really hype. And the last 2 episodes in general were really good. Again, character development for Edge Doctor. I didn't even know. What's his name? Kazunari Ninomiya. I haven't seen him in anything else except for like the Dance movie, which I didn't recognize him in. But I don't know, maybe I'll like him more in other roles if I ever see him again. But other than the boss man, who is Seiyo Uchino, every other character is fine for me. Like the rival to Edgelord, like the science guy. I thought he was fine. He was so wishy-washy the whole thing, so I didn't even feel too bad for him whenever he got screwed over, because it's like his fault. I did like the nurse for the Edgelord, who was also kind of edgy, but she was a cool character. I enjoyed her. I thought she was really underdeveloped though, but it's alright. I was expecting some sort of backstory. But for the general story, I mean, like all medical dramas, I feel, just they all fall under the power, like the theme of like corruption, and how some of the top brass of the hospital are more aimed at getting more case studies for papers, research papers, and increasing their status than actually saving everyone. Like it was very apparent in this, and very apparent in like literally everything else. So I think that's just a common theme, and it's cool. I think the cool part is like these two directors of hospitals are like competing each other for the chairman spot, and the funny thing is they actually have like a rating system for like their papers and stuff called impact factors, and it seems really weird. It's like I don't know if that's a real thing, but it's like, oh, you submitted this paper, it's pretty good, we'll add 3 points to your impact factor, and whoever had the most like wins the race. I don't know, it's weird to see, like, because usually there are dealings and corruptions, but it's weird to have an actual scale for things. So I don't know, maybe that's real, but yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. The surgeries were pretty good, not too over the top, very knowledgeable. Again, learning medical science stuff, which obviously isn't my forte, but it's always interesting. This one does focus more on heart surgery, so if you're interested in heart surgery in specific, then this was the one for you. Because I guess I don't know, I'm pretty sure the Team Muratakia one was brain surgery, if you're interested in that. And Dr. X was just crazy stuff. The tone of the show, it's usually pretty serious. I don't think there's almost any jokes. Soundtrack was really good. For some reason, like these past dramas I've watched, this one, Rico and Little Giant, they all have like this song with vocals and stuff at the end that play, like, and I don't know if you know this, if you haven't watched a lot of J-dramas, they don't actually have a credit screen usually. They just have like credits scroll underneath, like the final scene, like on the, like, scrolling sideways. They usually play the song after that, and it's always so good. Like I really like the song too, like the slow dramatic song. Anything else? Not really. So basically decent characters. I really liked the boss of the main hospital that we follow. I thought he was very cool. His character, his arc at the end is a little mixed, because his character does do a big change, and I really liked his old character, but I don't mind it. It's interesting enough. And I think in general the characters are decent. There wasn't a character I hated. Even the Edge guy, I don't even think he was the worst character in the show, to be honest. It's just weird following a main character like that. And I guess he's technically not even the main character. I guess Mogi or Sarah or Ryuma is the main character, because he does have they do show his thoughts, like they do like a voiceover on screen, which isn't something I liked, but it is a book thing, and it does say that this was adapted from a novel. They did it in Little Giants too, and it's kind of annoying. I never liked that sort of stuff, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. This is pretty decent. I guess I still haven't found a drama that I love for medical stuffs, so I'll probably keep searching, but this is definitely fine, and you might like this more. It's a very serious one. I guess there's comedy in the edgelord guy, because he is just super edgy, and sometimes that comes off as funny, but it's a serious one with a couple cool moments. Especially the last 3 episodes were very fun. The last 3 episodes. So yeah, moving on to the next one. Beep boop. For our next Japanese drama, we have Everyone's Demoted. Good start voice. Everyone's Demoted, or known as Shudan Seisen. It is a business bank drama. No, it's not a business. It's basically a bank drama. My second bank drama, my first one was Hanzao and Noiki, which is an unbelievable bar. Like, I didn't go into this thinking it would beat it. If you don't know what Hanzao and Noiki is, it's like one of the highest regarded Japanese dramas. I think I mentioned it before, but it is extremely good. Apparently, I have watched it a long time ago, but whenever it's been on hiatus for a while because the main actor got so famous from that, he just hadn't had the time to do season 2. But season 2 was finally scheduled for this year, but got delayed from Corona. So whenever that's out, I will rewatch Hanzo Noiki to get hyped. But this was pretty good. I really liked a lot of it had like a lot of technical elements that I didn't like about it, but it had a very fun cast, and generally the second half was better. The general plot is about there's a manager named Kataoka who was promoted to be a branch staff manager, basically, one of the branches of the main bank, like the general manager. But then he was told by one of the higher ups that the bank is planning a very aggressive downsizing plan to save money and prep for the future, because the future of the bank's sort of in danger. So they're planning on closing like 12 banks. I believe it was 12 banks, and they were telling Kataoka just to do nothing and let the bank close. But then he challenges them, and he sees all the young workers, not wanting to get fired and giving up their dreams, or giving up their jobs as a bank clerk. Because in Japan, there's a lot of job pride, I think. At least more than in Canada. People are very proudful. So instead, they made an exception, and now their goal is to raise, in 6 months, they have to raise the profit of the bank up to 10 billion yen revenue, which is pretty insane. So it's definitely an impossible challenge. And yeah, it was definitely a fun story. It's actually split into 2 arcs, which is interesting. You hear this general summary of the story, and you expect it to be a 1 arc story with the end, with them either winning or losing the bet, but maybe shining a light on some corruption and getting those guys out. But it's actually 2 arc, and the story that I told you actually ends in 6 episodes, and then there's a new arc in the 4 for the final 4, because it is a 10 episode series. First off, I think the main lead, played by Masaharu Fukuyama. Apparently, I see a lot of people really praising the cast because it is a veteran cast. Now I don't know enough actors. Like I don't know enough actors in North American actors. It's so I don't actually even I wouldn't be able to name a lot of Japanese actors at the same time. So I'm not sure, but I thought most of the characters were played well. The main guy's a pretty interesting character. He's definitely the endearing type, like in Rico, which was the underdog business story. This is definitely an underdog bank story, I guess, since these guys are trying hard to reach the limit, and then there's them being the problems with being a lower bank, being bullied by like the main office, and other powerful banks and businesses. So it's an underdog story. I think the main guy was very, very eccentric. Like I feel like you would either really like him or you might actually hate him. I tend to like him more because he was kind of adorable, but like the first arc he seemed like such an idiot. It seems mean, but like obviously he knows his stuff about banks and how to do stuff, because he wouldn't be able to be promoted in the first place. But like he would just keep saying like, come on guys, work hard, and he didn't ask for any situation, any plans for like anything, but he just kept saying work hard. So he's a very weird character in that sense, and I kind of didn't like him at first. Like this had a weird start for me, like actually no, I was thinking of Pean, but it took a while to get used to. He's more adorable for me than anything. It did have Teruyuki Kagawa, which is a guy I raved about last one, and I did go into this anime specifically because he was in it, and it is a bank anime, so I thought this would be his element, right? I said I really liked him as like the higher up cocky sort of guy, because his acting style very much plays into that, so this is like the perfect thing for that. But I was very, very surprised with his performance, and not in a bad way. His character wasn't a higher up at all. It was like a subordinate of the main guy, and he was like the most humble, the most rational, non-shouty guy. It was like a complete 180 from like the majority of the roles he plays, and I really liked that. Got to see some acting range, but yeah, it was very unexpected, and he played it well. I think he was personally my favorite character. It's hard not to cheer for him, being so like he seems like a menacing force, but it was again kind of adorable. The rest of the cast, I mean, the rest of the cast were like varying from semi-important to I don't even know their names. But even though they don't get much, I mean, some get development, some don't, but they were all good. They all flowed well. They all felt like good characters. And there's usually a problem with side characters that don't get too much development, where you just feel like they're non-characters. Like in Pean, it had like a very solid cast, but then there's just a lot of the side characters didn't even get names. Like there's also that in Little Giants. Like I feel like some dramas when they have such a big cast of people that and naturally you can't develop all the characters. I know that, but I feel like they're just not entertaining characters. But all of these characters you do, I don't remember all the names because there's a lot, but they all felt like fun, good characters that meshed well. I think Rico did that also pretty well. Also, a side note, I don't think I talked about it in the Pean section, but there's another antagonist who's like the director of the other hospital. I didn't talk about him because the main boss that I really like really outshone him for me, since he was more of how do I describe it? He's more of just a standard evil boss guy. Like I wasn't too impressed. He was just textbook antagonist. But he did a guest appearance in this one for for an episode, and he was good too. It's weird. They're like, he was very wholesome too. It's weird. They're taking like all these guys that I know for being super evil, and they're making them good guys, which is kind of fun. The main antagonist, the guy who's in charge of the downsizing guy, at least in the first arc, I wasn't too interested in him. I think one of the biggest complaints I have in this, well, one is that they overuse flashbacks. Like, it is insane how many flashbacks are in an episode. I don't know why they do it, whether it's to fill time, which I don't think so. Like, I don't think you need to fill that much time, but they literally take flashbacks that happen in the episode and play it multiple times, or from past episodes. It's very annoying. I think one time they did like a flashback of a scene from like 3 minutes ago, so that was something I didn't like. I also think they just had a lot of B-roll, which is just extra footage of the main bad guy in his office doing bad stuff. Because there is times where there are scenes with him in his office doing stuff that had no correlation to anything at all, that I feel like they just put in there. I could be wrong, because this is a pretty bad accusation to make, but that was very annoying. Like, there's this scene where he was happy, he was discussing stuff with people, which made sense. Then they go to the main group doing something, and then they go back to him, and it looks like he's almost crying, throwing a book, when literally nothing happened for him to change that way. Like, it was so awkward. So that's what really made me suspect it. Maybe it's, and these two problems, I guess, if you want to get creative, could say a lot about their personalities. Like, maybe there's a lot of flashbacks because, again, the main guy's just sort of dumb. and the personality shifts from the boss because he has an unstable personality. But I don't know, I don't really like that. But in the second arc, the fourth arc, when you lose a lot of the main cast, though they do come as guest stars, which is fine. At least they kept Teruyuki's character, who was my favorite again, so I'm happy he was still a lead. I felt like the show, at least technically, actually I think the show just got a lot better. And then you got a fun cast, but it still worked without them, mainly focusing more singularly on the main two guys, Teruyuki and Kataoka's character. They did introduce some new higher-ups, which are fine. It's alright. It's not too important. I really liked, again, and they removed, there's not a lot of flashbacks. They removed that, which was good for me. And I'm stressing on the flashbacks, but they're literally like the same scene, the same flashback was played through multiple episodes. It was so annoying. And they got rid of the B-roll from the main bad guy, which was good. I think the main bad guy is bodyguard too. He's not really a bodyguard, but his assistant is like this big guy. What's his name? Shinya Kote. He was like, he had such a deep voice. He was so intimidating, so I really liked him. And I actually liked the main bad guy a lot more. Like, he just seemed really evil and not much to him in the first one. Like, I understood his motive of like, sure, he's doing an evil thing, but he's thinking of the future of the bank, even if it is kind of unmoral. But when you see like more actions from him, like willing to do corrupt stuff for the bank and stuff, he made a much more interesting character. So I thought the second arc was a lot better. And in general, this one has it's a lot more comedic. Some funny moments, some effective, some not, as per usual, but it's an interesting show. I think I would give it like a 6.5, just as the first arc, just those flashbacks and the B-roll was like one of the bigger usually I ignore technical problems for J-dramas because I'm not expecting too much, right? I just want my melodramatic arguments and stuff, just fun stuff like that. But those were really, really distracting, but they really picked themselves up for this one. And as per usual, I guess newer J-dramas always have a banger of a song at the ending, a banger lyrical song. This one was no exception. But I kind of like the Pean one a little bit more, but the Pean's ending song on YouTube is actually trash. I don't know why. There's only like one version and it's so auto-tuned. But in general, the Blackpink song was better, if we're comparing songs. But yeah, good anime. Maybe you won't mind the problems I had too much. It's a fun one. I would recommend it. Alright, for the next drama I watched something called Lido V. Lido V, Iet's lawyer Shoko Takanashi. I just thought it was called Lido V, but it has a full name. And it was pretty great. Like I said, I really enjoy law stuff, and this is the 4th law drama I've seen, and it does not disappoint. I also think it's pretty good for different reasons. First off, the reason I did watch this, I guess, because people have been saying it's the law version of Dr. X. I mean, they're even similar, like Dr. X and Lido V. Starring the same girl too. I think Dr. X is alright. I didn't get into it that much. Like, I went in with kind of high expectations because my dad said it's his favorite medical Jdramas. So I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. Then I was like, why do you like this so much? And he said, oh, I think the main actress is hot. So I was like, oh, that's I mean, that's fine, but not exactly what I was thinking. So I thought it was okay. Dr. X basically is about a super talented but super what's that word? I always forget it when I was gonna say. I always use it too. It's super weird. It's not weird. I was literally just going to say it. I hate myself. Whatever. Super weird. Sort of like a mercenary style surgeon who like hospitals hire on the spot or whatever, or hire for like one term or something. Eccentric, there we go. A super eccentric surgeon, and it's basically just her doing some crazy surgeries. Most of the cast hates her, and then they grow to like her. And there's literally like 6 seasons. I watched like 2 full seasons and then half of season 3. It's all basically the same thing with she moves hospitals. Sometimes there's guest appearances from old cast members, but then there's like new guys, new antagonists, stuff like that. It's definitely a good watch. I just kind of got bored since I was almost binging it. But I think this was different. She is also I mean, it sounds very similar. She is also an ex-lawyer. I mean, no, it's different. The only really similar thing is the acting sort of same, but she's not as eccentric. And I guess she's not as godly as Dr. X was. And she has a weird obsession with trains, which I thought was pretty funny. So this one is basically about a lawyer who got disbarred for some scandal of working with the triads, which, if you don't know, is the Chinese mafia in Japan, I believe. I could be wrong though. And then she gets together to create her own law firm with some cool people of all different personality types, as per usual, and they solve cases together. So the difference between this and 99, I think, is that this is just a general law firm, so it handles a bunch of different cases, not just criminal cases, which I do love criminal cases, but it's good to see some of the other ones. I think the main character, Ryoko Unikara, was great. I liked her in Dr. X, but she was a little too weird for me. But this felt pretty relatable. She's still extremely odd, but she pulls it off well. Pulls off this cockiness that I kind of enjoy. The cast, the main guy, I guess, Kento Hayashi, he was fine. He was sort of the innocent lawyer type guy, working to save the week. Classic stuff. And then there's everyone else, not to diss them, but they all had their funny stuff. I like the boss, Hideaki Takahashi, out of the extras, but all of them were fine. I also like Shohei Miura, thought he was pretty funny too. I think what stands out for this though is that in all the law stuff, there's always like the super lawyer or whatever, And yes, we do have a super lawyer, but she's not actually a lawyer. So in this one, it's kind of interesting. So instead of doing like some big brain plays at court, she actually can't be involved in the court. So she helps with all the investigation and probably the prep. But then the more amateurish, I mean, they're not amateurs, but less big brain people do it, and it leads to mistakes, it leads to court troubles. When if she was doing it, she probably could have won pretty easily. So I thought that was a pretty cool dynamic. I really enjoyed seeing that. Also, unlike I think I'm just gonna be comparing it to 99 since that's the most recent last thing I've seen. I think this is a little less melodramatic, which I know some people like, some people don't. I was fine with it. Like, there wasn't super evil people. I mean, there's definitely evil people, but like, you know, the super opposing dramatic boss that each season of 99.9 had. There still is criminal cases though. They do bring up the 99.9 conviction rate, which is nice. I like some of the civil cases though. It's good to get some non-crimes. Like, there's a really good 2-episode arc about marriage scams, which was very interesting. And another arc I liked was it was kind of a sub thing that happened later, but basically someone was accused of murdering someone, and then a bunch of online trolls sort of attacked the family, and the mom ended up committing suicide. So the law firm decided to sue all of the online trolls. So that was very like unique. I haven't thought of that, but it's definitely a pretty bad problem. I think that's one of the more sickening things that I would never understand, why someone would blame somebody else, even if the culprit was real or not. Bashing the family really doesn't make sense to me. So that was cool. Also, for the marriage scams, they brought up some modern references of Me Too stuff, so it's good to see some modern stuff that I enjoyed. The antagonists were alright. Fumio Kohunita was like the melodramatic boss guy, but again, he wasn't too melodramatic. He's a pretty good guy. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. I'm just looking over it now. He was definitely in Little Giants, I think. Though I don't actually see it. So maybe he wasn't in Little Giants. Because I was trying to compare his performance here to Little Giants. Let me just confirm this. Because I don't want to make a mistake. He actually does look so... Actually, do you think he's from Hero, now that I look at him? Without the mustache. No, he's not from Little Giants. I was totally messing it up. So that's good I caught that. That would have been pretty embarrassing. Totally different guy. Alright. They don't even look that similar. I don't know why I thought it was. But this guy has a lot under his belt. He is from Hero, which is another law drama. Maybe one of my, I think, better than both 99 and that one was very good. It's a Kimura Taki, a banger, and it's actually about prosecutors, so you get to see from the prosecutor standpoint, which is very interesting, since I think the majority of law dramas and movies, at least in Asia, is mostly lawyers, so that's fun to see. So he was in Hero. His character in Hero was the guy always chasing that older woman. I forgot what exactly how to pronounce it. What else has he done? He has a big profile, so I guess he's definitely a big time actor, huh? Nothing I see though. Again, my drama experience isn't too high. Apparently he was in Audition, one of my favorite Japanese horror movies, if not my favorite, so that's cool. It was just a TV presenter, so I guess that's not too big. He was also in Dark Water, another classic. This is turning into reviewing this guy, huh? I just want to confirm it since he's such a big presence. He's in Outrage. I thought he was from Outrage. I thought he was from something, but Outrage is something, yeah. Outrage is a famous Yakuza movie. I think there's like 3 of them. Okay. Anyways, good guy. I liked his performance. I was trying to compare it to the Little Giants, but it's kind of hard now. But now I can compare it to Hero, where he was sort of the funny sidekick and then trying to get the girls, but he wasn't like super weird about it. He was good. I enjoyed him. And then not super strong, super melodramatic like Teriyuki, but he was there. I loved him. I think like one of his best moments was he kept pouring wine on his assistant when he got mad, like over her head, and one time he just like opened up her shirt and just poured it down. That was pretty badass. The other 2 antagonists were Osamu, Mutai, and Nanano. I do know Nanao. She was from BG Personal Bodyguard, which is something I didn't like. It's my least favorite. It's my least favorite Team Ratakia joint, and it's gonna get a season 2, which sucks. But I need to watch it because it's Team Ratakia. She was fine. I liked her. She kind of has this serious girl act. Actually, no, I don't know. I need to see more with her. And I didn't feel too much for Osamu. He was fine. He was the cool kind of guy, but nothing too insane. I like looking up the actors so you know more if you know them or not. Anyways, he was fine. So yeah, this one had more. I don't know. Did I like this more than 99? I'm leaning towards no. I think while I liked the main girl the most, it's missing another super strong character. Like, I thought Fumio was good as an antagonist, fine, but something a bit stronger. I don't know. It's missing a little star power for me. And it felt more chill than 99. Like, it wasn't like them doing super detective work. It was more conventional, which is good. I don't know. This is. I feel like this can be just as good. I like it more than Dr. X. That's my hot take, even though I've heard people say the opposite. And yeah, if you're looking for something that's not only criminal law, also just other cases of law, which is pretty fun. A fun, lighthearted, but serious at the same time. It was a different comedy too, because 99 did puns and unfunny jokes, again in a melodramatic sense. Where this laid it off, so it seemed a lot more casual. I liked it. I'm giving it an 8, dude. Law dramas keep on giving. I feel like every 4 dramas I might as well throw in a law one at this point. It hasn't failed me yet, but cross our fingers and hopefully it keeps happening like that. Oh, so I totally forgot. This is super important. This is like one of the first modern J-dramas that did not have a banger at the end of the episode. I've been counting, all of them have had some dank bangers. Black Pean had it. The Everyone's Demoted was alright, but it was still kind of a banger. Rico had it. Little Giants had it. This one, it was an alright song, not a banger. So maybe it's a 1 out of 10. No, I'm joking. It's still like an 8. 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. And we are here for our final J-drama of the night. If you do watch my other videos, which you probably do. I mean, I guess a lot of traffic does come to SIW sometimes, so maybe not. I have talked about this before. It is Anata no Ban Desu, or Your Turn to Kill. And if you have heard about it, then you probably know that I really love it. It is a whodunit TV series, 20 episodes, very long running. If you're wondering what's the difference between a normal mystery and a whodunit, normal mysteries are more, again, story focused. character driven, while whodunit's the actual like crimes and the theories of how it's done. Like they usually plan out, give you a lot more clues, and they kind of play it as you should follow along and solve the mystery too, which I really like. I think that's one of the main reasons I really like this show, because I've never watched a whodunit TV series. Not to say there isn't, there probably are, but this was a very fun modern take on whodunits, because I've recently watched a classic whodunit movie, and it was a great mystery, but a kind of a boring movie. But this was full on exciting the whole time. And just to note, I did watch the 20 episodes. I did not watch the special because I was saving it for last, because I thought it would be like some bonus stuff. But it was actually like basically episode 11. So if you are going to watch this, then make sure to watch the special episode at episode 11, because it's like just a break episode in between the series. It's 20 episodes, but it's 2 arcs. Usually, yeah, if there are arcs, there's usually like 2 arcs in a Japanese series. So I kind of skipped that because there's no point, since I already know the ending, right? And I think there's also these like mini shorts, or they might be full episodes, where they like look at each resident's backstories for some memes or whatever. I didn't watch that. I don't even know where to watch that. So, but yeah. So basically, the basic premise of the story is a new couple has moved into an apartment, and somehow or another, one of them gets dragged into a game where they all have to write a person they would want to kill, and then they like raffle it up and randomly pick out the names, and if someone kills someone on their sheet, then whoever wrote the name that they killed, they have to kill whoever they drew, sort of like a murder swap game. And it kind of becomes a jumbled mess, which is great. That's what you want. You want confusing but smart murders and whodunits. You know, I did play this. I did watch this pretty casually. There's fireworks going on. Is today a special day? May 18th. I'm not sure. I'll close the window. But yeah, I did read this casually. I was considering if I should go hard. And by hard, I mean like make a theory sheet and theorize on my own. But I'm already busy with Higurashi on the theory side, and I was a little lazy. I like started one and I'm like, yeah, it's too much work. So I'm talking from a casual point of view, but I can definitely see, like for most whodunits, proper whodunits anyways, there's always room for theorizing. So if you do want to go hard, this is a series where you could. There's one hint that is pretty big, where you do have to go back a couple episodes to check for it, that will really point you into the direction of the killer, or at least someone very suspicious. But I was too lazy. but yeah. But they do a very good job at aiding you, not just with the hints, but with the names. Every episode when a character comes on stream for the first time, they give their name and their apartment number, which is super helpful. And this is a huge cast. There's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 38 people credited. So maybe not all of these are, oh no, an additional cast member. So whatever, this is a massive cast, so it would definitely be hard to take notes on everybody, but you can keep I don't know, maybe not too bad, but since I have been theorizing a lot, maybe I'm slightly better than average, but it would take a lot of min-maxing. Love the cast. Again, I'm not too good with actors, but most of the female characters I enjoyed, and a handful of the male ones. The main 2 leads, Nana and Shota, I'll just call them by their character names because it means more to me. But Shota's actor, first of all, he sang the banger of a song. There's this really sad song, and I recently learned he was the one to sing it, so that's pretty cool. He was in Dr. X, which I watched, and I didn't care too much for him in Dr. X, so I liked him better here. So I didn't know if I was gonna like him because he's pretty silly. I don't know, he has some weird energy about him, but it was fine. I liked Kana, but she was a meme. Same with Cuts. Wait, oh, I'm not. See, I'm switching between actresses' names. Yeah, I was like, who are these people? I'll stick with the characters' names. So Yoko was cool, but she was a meme. Same with Tamiya. He was a meme though. He was a character, then he turned into a meme later. Case Utita. He was a bartender in Heroes, you know, this classic, one of my favorite Jdramas of all time. So it was cool to see him. He has very distinctive features. Sawa Kurashima, yes, I thought she was like super cute. Good character, but she's like awesomely cute. And I don't say that often, so I was happy with her. Ono was a really cool character too. I really liked her. She gives the weird vibes if you're into weird girls. Even the characters I'm not naming, I didn't really have a problem with some of them, and if I didn't like them, I actually didn't hate them either, so it was fine. I really liked Sane's character. She was a very, very, very solid character. That's Mr. Fuji. We did talk about him in 99. He was a meme character in this one. This time he's a bit more serious character, but he still has that meme energy. So I kind of want to see him in more roles, because I don't know if he just holds this meme energy or not, but it was good. It was fun. The manager, well, I didn't really like his character because he's not a really likable guy. I thought his character arc was pretty fun. I mean, pretty good. And the detectives, specifically Tamiya. Tamiya was a cool guy. He seems like a really cool guy, and he's like kind of the opposite of what you expect. So a lot of characters. There's more. I probably missed some, but just a great cast in general. The opening is a banger. I really love the opening. I've literally like listened to it a bunch of times on YouTube. Just for J-drama openings, like the old ones, the classic ones have like a 2-minute cheesy opening, which I love. Those are fun. But like more of the recent ones don't even have a proper opening. It's like it's usually just like a title card. So it's cool to see a proper opening. It is sung by Aimer, whose name I might not be saying because my pronunciation sucks, but if you know, I was a big anime fan a while ago, so I have heard a lot of Aimer songs. She's a pretty famous singer, or band. I'm pretty sure it refers to the singer though. So it's always good. Out of the two arcs, I think I enjoyed the first arc a little bit better though. So there's a first arc and the second arc, which is kind of the answer arc, even though it is like, it answers most of the stuff is revealed that wasn't revealed in season 1, and there's some new stuff too. So, but I really liked the first arc better, which I guess it's just like when it's fresh. Just 20 episodes is a long time, right? You kind of, and with such a long time, you do kind of get to cross out a lot of names on the suspect. So even though I was thinking about it, I think me reaching I did reach the culprits before it was revealed, and not just the last episode. Obviously the last episode revealed it, but you probably should have found it out a couple episodes before that. But yeah, it's just a really fun experience. Even if you aren't used to whodunits, I feel like everyone should just should at least have some try it out. And I think this is a good place to try it out if you don't want to check out some of the classics. Just again, the classics can be boring. No offense. Again, great mysteries. Just some of the filmmaking is just, it just doesn't feel fun to watch. This is a modern take on the genre, so it is very fun. The one thing I didn't like, I mean, there are some filler stuff which people might not like, but I was fine with it. It's just the ending. They left like an open-ended ending. No, or not really. They hinted there's more to the story. a bit, and it's like, I mean, season 2. I mean, I would watch it, but literally like every character arc is finished. Is unless our boy Shota goes and does some more mystery stuff somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, great series. I'm giving it a hot 9 because it was super fun for me. So basically, out of all of these, this was my favorite. Black Pean was very good. Again, since it's been some time since I've watched them, Black Pean was very solid. I still really enjoy it as a serious medical drama. Um, our second one, what was it? The fact that I'm not really remembering might means it's not that good. Was it Everyone's Demoted? It might have been. If it is Everyone's Demoted, I'm regressing. That show is kind of bad. I was just standing for it because I kind of liked some of the performances, but it was kind of meh. I give that like a 6 out of 10. I keep the 7 on Black Pean. And Little V was pretty great too. I'm fine with giving that like a 7.5 or an 8. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed. Always fun talking about Jdramas. I'm still chugging along, so you'll probably see some more videos of this on the future. Thanks for watching as always, and I will see you next time, hopefully. Bye bye.